Hello and welcome to my easy to understand guide to Luther, the TV series and audience. Now Luther is one of the optional texts for GCSE Eduqas Media Studies Component 2. Not all schools study this, so please don't panic if you don't. I do have other videos about sitcoms like The IT Crowd and Friends on my channel, so please check those out if they are relevant to you. So it's important to understand who the target audience is for Luther and how they've been targeted by the set episode and by the series as a whole. So Luther has quite a wide, broad, mainstream target audience, and it's very obvious how they bring in that mainstream audience. You know, it's on BBC One, which is a highly popular mainstream channel within the UK. It's on at 9 PM, which is a prime time slot, which is going to bring in a lot of audiences. And crime drama is a hugely popular genre, so the choice of genre is going to draw in that big mainstream audience as well. The audience is primarily 25 to 40, and that is reflected by the choice of cast. A lot of the cast members are within that age range, so it gives the audience within that age range something to identify with. And that post-Watershed 9 PM TV slot is a good way of drawing in that adult 25 plus audience as well, because it means the programme can have darker themes and content, which is more suitable for an adult audience. Crime drama is an incredibly popular genre, and fans of the show will really be drawn in by the marketing materials and by the episode itself. It has lots of very clear crime drama iconography in it. You know, dark, low-key lighting, an urban setting, a kind of anti-hero or a flawed detective that is kind of rebellious and breaks the rules. It's quite conventional, and those conventions will help to bring in those fans of the crime drama genre. The target audience is broadening in terms of age because it is now being streamed on Netflix and online on other digital sites as well. Some younger audiences, aged 16 plus, are now starting to watch Luther when they had not necessarily been aware of it before. So sometimes distributing digitally can help bring in a younger audience. In fact, Netflix, it makes the show more appealing for a number of reasons, because it means that audiences can binge watch a whole series, which a lot of people are now, they expect to be able to do that. They don't want to have to wait a week for another episode. So having it available on Netflix means that people can binge the whole series. And also Netflix means that it can be made available to audiences who've liked something similar. So Netflix will recommend Luther to people who've watched other similar shows. And that's a great way of broadening the audience as well. Now, Idris Elba is a key part of all the marketing for Luther. He's got a lot of pre-existing fans, and they will be drawn into the show because his face is central to the posters and the trailers, and he's featured very heavily in all the marketing, and that will draw in the fans of him. The show has a really diverse cast in terms of gender and ethnicity, and that is going to bring in quite a diverse audience as well. Having you know, a black man in a lead role, having quite strong female characters, it's all kind of unconventional, but it's a great way of drawing in extra audiences for your show. People who perhaps want to see themselves represented on screen and who perhaps might not see that very often in other programmes. So there perhaps might be an underrepresentation, for example, of ethnicity in other TV shows, and yet Luther has you know, a black man in a lead role. So offering things to audiences that perhaps aren't being offered by other TV shows. In terms of the uses and gratifications theory, the show is obviously very entertaining. There's lots of drama, lots of conflict, murder, crimes. It's like a whodunit. You know, audiences want to try and solve the crime along with the characters, and that makes it quite exciting. As well as that, Luther's got quite a turbulent home life. You know, he's got a troubled relationship, and all of these things add to this idea of tension and drama, and that makes it entertaining to watch. There is some informative content in there as well, which audiences might find educational. You know, things that tackle, storylines that tackle mental health or domestic abuse, violence, crime, the justice system. So some audiences may well enjoy watching the programme for those aspects. It's quite relatable as well, offering the audiences the chance to identify with things. So, you know, whether it is people from ethnic minority backgrounds, women who want to see strong women on screen, people who can identify with having a difficult home relationship, or, you know, who can identify with living in an urban environment and a city and being surrounded by crime and things like that. So, you know, there's lots of relatable, identifiable content for audiences. The show likes to create a lot of anticipation for the next episode or the next series, so keeping audiences on the edge of their seat with things like cliffhangers, and that is a really great way of making audiences continue wanting to watch on to further episodes to find out what's going to happen. Overall, it's a really successful show and series, and audiences really like it. It's had several series and it gets a lot of really positive reviews from people. Some people may take a more oppositional view, so some audiences might not react as well to it, and you have to understand, you know, there's a variety of reasons for that. Some audiences don't like the fact that Luther breaks the rules, so they want a hero to be a proper hero that is always good, and Luther isn't always good. You know, he breaks the rules, he dangles people off the edges and he lets them drop, and it's this idea of a flawed hero that some people don't necessarily enjoy. So that's potentially one reason why some people might not respond to the episode in the way the producers had hoped they would. So that was my easy to understand guide to Luther and audiences. Don't forget to hit subscribe for more notifications of videos that will be useful for you. Check out my channel for other videos about the Sweeney, Luther, IT Crowd and Friends, as well as all the other GCSE set texts. And don't forget, you can leave a comment below if there are any videos that you would like that I don't already have.